Hey everyone, Hollow Leech here. Today, we're going to talk about the anime and manga Kuroko's basketball and try to figure out the top 5 best matches. Gotta say up front, this is just my own personal subjective opinion. The series has plenty of flashy games, but there aren't that many that are truly interesting. I'll try to explain why I picked these, though I might not succeed. Anyway, let's get started. Kicking off today's top is the match between Kaijo High and Fukuda Sogo High, the second match of the quarterfinals at the Winter Cup. The winner of this game will face Seirin in the semifinals. This matchup is known as the reunion between Kisi and Haizaki, former players from Teiko Middle School. Two similar styles clash. One copies a move he just saw, the other practically steals your move after seeing it just once. Haizaki used to be on the Teiko basketball team, the very one which was later called the Generation of Miracles. But he left. He was considered the most dangerous player, but Akashi expelled him because he knew that Kisi would eventually take Haizaki's spot, and he didn't want Haizaki's pride to be hurt. In this heated match, Haizaki tries to prove he's better than Kisei, and that he, not Kisei, deserves to be in the Generation of Miracles. Kisei, who'd never beaten Haizaki back in Teiko, shows he's no pushover. It's in this game that we see how much he's grown, learning to copy the play of the Generation of Miracles. In fourth place is the match between Seirin High and Shutoku High. This game takes place in the final league of the Winter Cup preliminaries, a rematch after the Inter High, where Seirin came out on top. Both teams have suffered recent losses and are determined not to let it happen again. Now, at the Winter Cup, they're fighting for a ticket to the main tournament, meeting in the preliminary group stage. Finally, the long-awaited match begins. Hungry for victory, the two teams clash on the court. Kuroko finally shows off his invisible dribble. Midorima gives it 200%, but Kagami doesn't back down. By the way, this is the first and only match in the entire series that ends in a tie. Closing out the top 3 is the match between Seirin High and 2 Academy in the first round of the Winter Cup. A rematch after a particularly bitter loss at the Inter High comes surprisingly fast, but Seirin has grown in the meantime, and they're not about to give up the win so easily. Here they throw everything they've got at 2, including Kuroko's new move and the reverse invisibility. Plus, we get our first glimpse of the two aces going head-to-head in the zone, and it's an incredible spectacle. Aomine finally finds the rival he's been searching for, while Kagami gives it his all, managing to barely keep up even with Aomine. The outcome shocks everyone and leads to Aomine and Kuroko making up. After the game, Kuroko is so worn out he can't even stand on his own. He reminds Aomine that back then, Aomine didn't give him a fist bump. Aomine pretends he doesn't care, but eventually decides to do it. This win gives Seirin a huge confidence boost. Taking second place is the match between Rakuzan High and Shutoku High, the first semifinal of the Winter Cup. This is a face-off between 2 Generation of Miracles players, Midorima versus Akashi. Both teams breezed through the first 3 rounds in the quarterfinals, and now they face their first real test. Midorima and Akashi have a history. They played many games of shogi as vice-captain and captain, but Akashi always won. In basketball, they're facing each other for the first time, and Midorima aims to teach Akashi what it means to lose. When the teams step onto the court, Shutoku is announced as the king, and Rakuzan as the emperor. It's striking to see that Akashi, a first-year captain, commands respect even from the second years and third years, especially considering the team includes 3 uncrowned kings who show off their power in this match. Here we finally get to see the legendary captain of the Generation of Miracles in the starting lineup from the very beginning, and his incredible strength. He's so monstrous that Shintaro Midorima, himself a member of the Generation of Miracles, can't do a thing against Akashi and Rakuzan, even with his whole team behind him, so Midorima doesn't manage to teach Akashi defeat. Finally, taking the top spot is the match, Kaijo High versus 2 Academy, the quarterfinal of the Inter High for high schools. Both teams have a member of the Generation of Miracles, so this game is known as the showdown between Ryota Kisei and Daiki Aomine. It's the first time we see two players from the generation of miracles go head-to-head. Ryota Kisei is up against the man who inspired him to start playing basketball. The guy he's never been able to beat. The guy whose moves Kisei has never been able to copy. But it's time to break through that barrier, to go beyond his limits and copy Aomine's style. After all, the only one who can beat Aomine is himself. So what happens if he's on the opposing team? Kisei does manage to copy Aomine's style, but as it turns out, the original is still stronger than the copy, especially considering, as we learn later, Aomine wasn't even playing at 100%. And that's all for today. What's your top 5 best matches from Kuroko's basketball? And who's your favorite from the generation of miracles? See ya, and I'll catch you in the next video!